So I'm not gonna lie. The whole reason I wanted to make these NBA awards was for you and I to figure out how to elect who the Defensive Player of the Year award is for track and field. You try to think, is there any event that has any defensive mechanism? And I couldn't think. And I did think of one, but I didn't end up using it. I was like, oh, this could be a person who's really good at like making semis or prelims really slow. So they're able to make it so every race they're in, there are no time qualifiers that come out. I
Oh,
was like, oh,
interesting.
you're really good at like making
Like a good
sure
kicker.
you limit the number of people who come out of your heat. You're like being defensive. You're like, stop. We're only going to let the top 4 out, not all 4+2. But I didn't go that way. I went. So Defensive Player of the Year is an award, obviously, for the best defensive player. But a lot of times this award is rationalized for the winner based off of really weird, obscure, sabermetric analytical stats. Like this blah, 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 W plus minus QR code angle was the greatest of all time, right? They make up these weird stats. So I was like, all right.
Okay.
Also, Defensive Player of the Years are always very consistent. They always have double-digit rebounds or multiple steals every game in and game out. So I was like, who is consistent and who had a really weird stat? That was what I decided. So who was consistent with a weird stat, and that was none other than USA's Michael Cherry, who was hell of a consistent because he ran 44 seconds 14 times in a row. That we were looking at like trying to break an all-time record. I'm not sure if he did. I think he tied it or broke it, but he went the entire season of running 44 seconds. And that included round ones of the Olympics, of the trials, prelims, semis. Every race, he ran 44 seconds. He never ran 43, which is what makes it also interesting. He only ran 44, so there was no 43 nines. It was just 44, 44, 44, 14 times in a row. Michael Cherry is FloTrack's Defensive Player of the Year.
All right. When I think about defense, I think about stoppers. And when you think about stoppers, you think about who can stop the big stars. So I have a list here of the people who are nominated for World Athlete of the Year. Not a comprehensive list because some people will argue, hey, this person should have been there. But this gives you an idea. I'm going to say a person's name and I'm going to ask you, hey, did they get stopped by anybody this year? So here, Carson Warhol. Did anybody stop Carson Warhol this year?
No,
Eliud Kipchoge.
not this year. No,
Mondo.
no,
Krauser.
no.
Joshua Cheptegei.
I think so, right?
Well, he did
He
lose.
lost.
He did lose at the Olympics. Yep. Yeah, he did lose at the Olympics. So okay, let's put an asterisk by him. Come back. Elaine Thompson Hurrah. Did anyone stop? Would you say anyone stopped Elaine Thompson Hurrah?
I mean, not really. You could argue she lost a couple random races. I mean, Mondo lost a couple vaults too, but at the moment when it matters most, no.
Okay. Rojas.
No. Except for Monaco, of course. The great Monaco second place finish.
Does not count, Gordon. Sydney McLaughlin. Did anybody stop Sydney McLaughlin this year?
I mean, the 60 hurdles she ran in New Balance Grand Prix, that was pretty weak sauce, but I think
How much weight
she
are you
stopped
putting weight on that
herself.
one?
Yeah, she stopped herself. She's like, I'm just here to collect the appearance fee.
Are you gonna go like let's look at her 100 hurdle records here?
No.
All right. So then I go to this next person. This next person who was rightfully nominated and I thought would finish pretty high up. Safan Hassan. Did anybody stop Safan Hassan this year?
Yes. Faith Kipyegon.
Faith Kipyegon stopped her 3 times this year. Now, it was in the 1500 and it was after Safan Hassan got her buckets in the 5 and the 10. She's 3-1 against her this year. So, Faith Kipyegon, my defensive player of the year, beat her at the Diamond League final, 358. Beat her in the Olympic final, 353. Hassan got third. Beat her at Monaco, 351 to 353. Yes, she did lose. So she took her lumps early on in June. She lost at the Golden Gala, 353 to 353 race. Really close one. But I go with Faith Kipyegon. You look at the people who beat Joshua Cheptegei, and it was more one-off type situation. I mean, he got beat by a lot of people in that 5K in Florence as well when Jakob took him to the woodshed. But that was a lot of people
Yeah.
beating him. But just in terms of
Yeah.
head up, one-on-one, we're going at it. Kipyegon was really the only person who stopped one of these superstars, which obviously makes her a superstar herself. So this is one of those years when like an absolute stud wins defensive player of the year. Someone who could win MVP wins defensive player of the year with Kipyegon.
You know, I like I like the way you interpreted defensive player of the year. You found who was able to have the number of a great athlete.